So I finally watched the Bridgerton series. Actually, I finished it at 12 a.m. last night, but you know, that's a whole thing. And I finally finished it after a full week of reading it, and well, here are my thoughts. Hello everyone, it's Veronica and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is, yes, you guessed it, my thoughts on the Bridgerton Netflix series that came out in early January. Pretty much just my thoughts of the Netflix series after reading the Bridgerton series like the week before. If you guys don't know what the Bridgerton series is, it's basically a historical romance series by Julia Quinn, and it's set around, I think, early 1800s. Basically, the Bridgertons are a family, siblings basically, and each book is based on each sibling and how they find their soulmate, their love match, if you will. And the first book, which is pretty much season 1-ish, pretty much, is The Duke and I, and it's basically based on Daphne's romance. If you guys didn't know, each Bridgerton sibling goes by alphabetical order. Daphne is obviously the fourth child. This is just my thought process, not really my thought process, just my general thoughts on the series and how it compares to the book series. And well, I have a lot to say. First off, if I were to rate it a Goodreads setting, you know, hypothetically, I don't rate, like, I would honestly give this a 3.5, and this is based on booktube movie show adaptation. I would give the show a 3.5 out of 5, sort of like a Goodreads rating, is pretty much just the fact that they changed a lot of the story, and this is going off of The Duke and I, which is Daphne and Simon's story, because the first relationship of season 1 is basically based on Daphne's romance with Simon. Yeah, they changed a lot. First off, usually when you have a lot of diverse characters, sometimes movies or shows would whitewash. This was the exact opposite. And I'm not saying that, like, they should have all been white actors, actresses. I'm just saying, by the way, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm just saying that I love the fact that they did diverse casts, but just the fact that they all just changed a lot. Just a lot. Hello. I just want to repeat myself before anybody is like, are you against the diverse characters cast? I just want to repeat myself. I repeat myself many times. I'm very happy that they did diverse cast. I keep saying characters. I'm very happy that they did so, but it's just the fact that they did change a lot, and I'm not saying that, I mean, in all honesty, they fit the roles perfectly. The actors and actresses fit the roles perfectly. It's just that, you know, it's not really how the book was written. So that's why I talk a lot about how, you know, it's why did they do so. But I really do want to say this again. I'm not trying to be racist whatsoever. I'm glad they did diverse cast. I'm happy they did so. It fit the characters, the actors and actresses fit well within the role, but it shocked me to see the fact that, you know, what was a white character is now a colored character, Asian, I don't know. You know, so it came a little bit of a shock for me, but I'm still, like I said, I want to repeat myself, I'm not trying to be racist, so please do not think that I'm trying to be racist at all. I'm really not. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. You know, there was just so many different changes, and I mean, first off, I'm glad that they did diverse, like, cast, but it was just totally different. Simon Bassett was pretty much just supposed to be a white male, and a lot of the characters, Lady Danbury, is just very different, and I'm not complaining. I think it was really nice that they did diverse cast. I was about to say characters, that too. But they just changed a lot. And second off, there was no queen. Now, this is London, so yeah, of course there's a queen. But there was no queen in the stories, in the books. No, there's no mention of a prince, a queen, none of that. None of it. So, I don't know why they decided to add a queen. Am I wrong? Did they did I just read it wrong or something? Did they have a queen? I mean, last time I remembered, none of the books had a queen. The Duke and I certainly did not have a queen in it. Nor did she ever have a prince courting her. I certainly don't remember that. And also, Neville? I don't know. I don't remember his name. The Duke, or the man that was trying to pursue Daphne, I don't remember his name. The one where she pretty much, by the way, if you guys couldn't guess it, there will be spoilers in this rant. It's just, the guy, he was like 30, 40 years old. Like, he's like 10, 20, 30 years older than Daphne. But I thought it was just her age, a little bit older kind of man that was trying to go after her. And that's why Simon kind of jumped in place and was like, okay, let me save you a little bit. So that was very interesting. It's just a little creepy. So definitely could feel the vibes off Daphne when he like tried to come on to her. So could definitely 100% feel that during the whole watching thing, just watching it basically. And Simon and the way they met, Simon and Daphne, the way they met, so different. Just so different. First off, if you guys only watch the Netflix series, she bumps into Simon and they kind of like, what is your name again? Or like, tell me what your name is. And then Daphne pretty much keeps looking at back at that Lord Ness something N. I feel like he starts with an N. It's just weird because in the Duke and I, the book, I'm not gonna say the Duke and I. In the book, basically, the other guy is basically trying to come on to Daphne in the like garden or just this secluded area at the hall. I think it was like a corridor. I don't remember. It's been a few maybe 2-3 weeks, but basically Simon actually tries to come and save Daphne, but obviously Daphne basically knocks the other guy out, and Simon is kind of sitting back, kind of hiding in the shadows, watching the whole interaction with Daphne and the other guy. And that's when she notices Simon, and it's like, who are you again? And then blah blah blah. That's kind of how they meet, and then they get introduced later on. But in the show, they bump into each other, and that's how they meet. And then Daphne's like, what is your name? Please just tell me your name. Pretty much just begging Simon to save her, which is not at all what happened. So I wish they kept it similar. I mean, they kept it somewhat similar in terms of like just the way that Simon pretty much comes and saves her, but technically he attempts to save her. However, Daphne pretty much saves herself and knocks the other guy out. So that was, honestly, at least that was similar. Characters who did pretty much stay the same, and I was like, hell yes, Lady Danbury. She was just straight up the best, and I loved her so much. Book and movie, all. They were just so good. So she's perfection. She's just the best. I love her so. Her energy, amazing. She sparkles. She's amazing. I love her so much. Just, she's got that very aunt vibes that friendly aunt, that like cool mom vibes, but not mom, if you know what I mean. She's just, I love Lady Danbury. She's honestly the best, and I can't wait to see her with future Bridgerton series. Just, I really enjoyed it. Also, moving on from Lady Danbury, Anthony. First off, in his book, The Viscount Who Loved Me, his arc with Sienna, the opera singer, the singer, I don't even know, was not very long. You don't get any clips or any super strong plot where, you know, he's just trying to break it off, but then he goes back to her constantly. That's not actually what happens, but in the movie it does. He like complete God, what is the word? He pretty much just continuously pines for her and misses her, and whenever he goes and sees an opera or a music concert, he's always like, just like, oh, I miss her so much, which is like, he doesn't say it out loud, I'm sure, but he like, you know, he's thinking that. And like, that's not at all what happened in the book series. In the book, Anthony pretty much finds Kate, they fall in love, but first off, he just completely cuts off his relationship with Sienna. There's no in-depth process of them having a relationship, and I found it really interesting why they would add that. Like, I mean, I guess plot, but then I feel like it didn't add anything to the whole series. I feel like it was just like, honestly, I just constantly skipped over that part. I was just like, this is boring. I actually did enjoy the Viscount Who Loved Me, Anthony's book. I gave that 4 stars because I did enjoy it. It's just that the relationship between Sienna and him, it was not as in-depth as it was in the Netflix series. It was just like a side mistress, if you will. That was it. That was it between them. It wasn't something like on and off situation. I mean, they slept together multiple times. He was like I said, mistress. That's like the best word I can come up with, and that was pretty much all. But in the Netflix series, it was like she was the girlfriend, the mistress that he kept coming back to, and that he was sort of like in love but then not really in love kind of situation. I was just like, I guess for a plot, I that's fine, but then it's just the way that, like, that's not what at all happened, and I was just slightly like, we'll see. I'm pretty sure if they're most likely doing a season 2, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, they already did that arc with in the first book in this first season, so obviously it's just going straight to how Anthony and Kate meet, which is gonna be very interesting. But in the book, it's literally like once Kate and him pretty much, they meet, and he's just like, okay, Sienna, that's it, I'm done with you, thank you, goodbye. That's it. They don't go, in no way, shape, or form in the book does he go like, I want you back, Sienna. None of that. It just is very interesting. And also, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for saying all of these, but you know what, that's fine, because it's my opinion. They changed a lot of everything, so I found that very interesting. And first off, my next point, Marina Thompson, who shows up in To Sir Phillip with Love. Marina does not at all meet George. None of that. Marina was married to Sir Phillip, and they had 2 children, twins, with each other, but it says that she was really depressed, she was just not happy in their marriage, and there was just no love between them. But in no way, shape, or form does it say that she has a child before that with Philip's brother George. I believe it mentions that George actually died. It does not at all mention that George and Marina had a relationship, that they were about to have a child, none of that. So that was a very interesting thing. And also, I found it very interesting why they decided to add her so early, because in To Sir Phillip with Love, which by the way it's Eloise's book, if you guys didn't know, so that was interesting. And the fact that To Sir Phillip with Love is book 5, and it's probably at least 10 years or something, probably 10 years after Daphne and Simon's marriage, the Duke and I. All in all, it's like a whole time jump. No way does Marina ever show up in The Duke and I, The Viscount Who Loved Me, An Offer from a Gentleman, or Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. I can't say their name. I always say Bridgerton, and it's wrong. Bridgerton. In no way from book 1 to 5 does Marina ever show up. She doesn't even show up in book 5. She's merely mentioned because actually, To Sir Phillip with Love, she's actually dead. It's shown in the prologue that she actually tried to drown herself, which is super depressing. She was just super depressed. She tries to kill herself, drown herself, which is super sad, by the way. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It was just really depressing the whole time. But we're gonna continue. Marina was actually, I think, the distant cousin of the Bridgertons, and not Penelope Featherington. Although, comment down below if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong. But I just know that even George they just never had a relationship. But I don't remember ever hearing about George Crane. I genuinely just don't remember, but it was just very interesting. And the fact that, that Marina just showed up, I was just like, the whole time, I was like, who the heck is Marina? The whole time I was watching, I was just like, never once did they ever mention a Marina in The Duke and I in any of the books, until I realized that after Philip came and was like, I'm Sir Philip Crane, and then I'm like, that Marina. And then I was just like shocked, because Marina isn't mentioned until book 5, and I was just like, why all of a sudden did they decide to add the whole arc with her from the very beginning? She shows up in like either episode 1 or 2, I don't remember, but I watched it last night and I don't remember. To be expected, I literally don't remember anything. You know, it's just her whole thing. It was just like, why do that? I mean, I realize you don't want to have everything too similar to the books. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I would love, obviously they just changed so much. Marina, I mean, I feel like they obviously created so much of her just to fit it in, because you don't get a lot of story behind her in Eloise's book. You just don't at all. She is already dead, so you don't really get a lot of information. But then the writers had to go through her backstory, her look, the way everything, and the fact that she had a relationship with George, the brother, and that they were expecting a child. I certainly do not remember that at all in the books. And that the fact that she only had 2 children, twins, with Phillip, and the fact that she was only married to Phillip. So it's just all very, like, there was just too much that's different. Honestly, in my opinion, the writers took the Bridgerton names, took the characters, took everything, and just created their own story. Yes, they created the same relationships and everything. Simon ended up with Daphne, and I'm sure the rest of the books, Anthony, Kate, Benedict, Sophie, Colin, Penelope, everything, those will stay the same, but their whole plot and everything, they basically created a new plot, and I was just like, I mean, I don't know, we're gonna go to the next point. Colin and Penelope, love them, and the fact that Marina also freaking had a fake relationship with Colin, never once did that ever happen in the book, because like I said, she's already dead by book 5, by Eloise's book. She did not have a relationship with Colin. Colin literally, in his own book, left for years to travel. Love that, by the way. And then finally he comes back to London, and then that's where Penelope and him fall in love, which I'm expecting that. I'm actually really excited to see that when it happens, because right where we pretty much left off with the last episode of the Bridgertons is the fact that they are sending Colin off to travel, and then that's what happens. So I'm really excited to see how they kind of do Penelope's change, because Penelope is sort of chubby. She's chubby in the books, and then when she was younger, and then she loses like 2 stones, 2, 3, 4 something stones, which still don't know what stones means in this category. Is it kg, pounds? What is it? I don't even know, but still want to know. If you guys know, please comment that down below. I'm lost. But she loses a lot of weight. It's probably a lot. I have no idea. She pretty much changes a lot. And then that's where they fall in love, in Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is book 4. So that goes very different. And the fact that they show the identity of Lady Whistledown literally on the last episode. And if you guys have already read the books, and I mean, I'm guessing you're either coming here because you finished the books or you finished the Netflix show. Either way, you guys already know it's Penelope. But the fact that they took literally, it's in the Netflix show, it's months of the fact that Lady Whistledown has existed. But in the books, it's like maybe 10, 15, 20 years. Probably 10 years at most, where, you know, she's been writing, and she, you know, finally in book 4, probably 10-ish years after Daphne's book, The Duke and I, they finally discover, oh, it's Penelope. So it's the fact that they only had months of Lady Whistledown. And yes, I'm sure people are, they might play it off as like, now we're just trying to find out how people are going to find out it's Penelope. I just feel like they ruined it by showing watchers the identity of Penelope so early in the show, because it was years of Lady Whistledown, whereas in the Netflix show it's months at most, because it was from when Daphne and Simon, that first initial meeting, probably a little before that initial meeting, where she comes to life And then it's her book, her Penelope's own book, where she finally romances Colin and they have a relationship where she finally shows the whole London, that the whole ton, how do I say that word? Ton? The whole ton. Gah! I don't know. Basically, the whole of the London, if you I don't even know, that she's Lady Whistledown. It's years and years. On the show, it's literally, she's the same age. She's like, what, 18, 16, I don't know. And they finally identify her. They ruined it by doing that. They should have kept it a secret the whole time, where finally they show her story, Penelope's story, and Colin's story, where she's 20-something years old, 26, I think, was when she was, yeah, she's like deemed spinster. That's when they should have done it. It gives more, that's literally, when I was reading it, it was so intriguing, the fact that they kept it so long. Each book, you had to find out who's Lady Whistledown. Each book literally had clips of Lady Whistledown before each chapter. And that's what made it so much interesting, so good. And the fact that 10 years of duping people, and the fact that they never found out the identity of Lady Whistledown, that's what was interesting. And that's what I really liked about it. But I feel like, in my opinion, they ruined it by showing Penelope. I added like 3 L's in that. I feel like they just ruined it by showing Penelope's identity of that she's Lady Whistledown so early. And I wish they did that differently. I wish they truly kept it as, years have passed and not months. Because truly, if you watched it, it is months. They literally show her from the first episode to the last episode. That's it. That's months. That's not even a year. She's only been Lady Whistledown in the Netflix show 1 year, at most. I was just super disappointed in that. Like, it just, when my friend and I were talking about this when we were hanging out once, and she was like, oh, I already know the identity of Lady Whistledown, and I was like, I haven't even gotten to that point of time yet, because she didn't tell me who it is. I discovered that while reading Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. That was only Penelope. But then she already found out, and the whole season 1 was supposed to be about Daphne and Simon. Never once did it mention the identity of Lady Whistledown. So that's just the whole thing that I'm on about. Like, I wish they just kept it longer. And I'm going to move on from this topic because it's really riling me up. But I truly wish that they kept Penelope's identity as Lady Whistledown secret until maybe even, honestly, it would have been more fun. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. I literally feel so emotional talking about this right now because it really gets to me. The fact of how different they truly change from book to show adaptation of the Bridgertons. I mean, yes, a lot of things are going to be different, but there are some really good book to movie adaptations or show adaptations. And this one just did not live it up. It just didn't. The next point I want to talk about is the Queen. The Queen. Never once, not once in the book did there was ever mention of a queen that existed, that flowed with the timeline of the Bridgerton series. Or was there a prince? None of that. Why did they decide to add a queen, a prince in there, a suitor for Daphne? I have no idea why. It was like, why? I mean, literally, I'm gonna go back to the point where I said they literally just took the name, took the characters, took the relationships, and just did their own plot. That one was super disappointing to me, and I literally sometimes just skipped over the Queen parts in the show, just because I was like, what the heck? The whole time, I was like, there's not once where I was like, yeah, she totally makes sense. No, I did not think about that at all. I mean, honestly, I am so glad that I got the chance to read the series, where I always, usually, when it comes to movie series, I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll watch it first. I did that with Harry Potter, never once finished the books, but this one, Bridgertons, I'm so glad I read the series first, instead of watching the show first. I feel like I would have deeply regretted watching the Netflix show first and then reading the books. I would have not at all liked it. And the one thing I have to say is the fact that I'm so glad that I read it first, because I could really see the difference of how much they changed within this Bridgerton's universe and the timeline, and the fact that all these meetings were how they met, how they came to be, the characters. So different. Like Marina, she was dead in book 5. Sienna, she only had like 5 minutes worth in the Viscount Who Loved Me. You know, so it's all... Penelope, she was Lady Whistledown for at least 10 or more years. Very different. Very, very different. And I was like, okay. The Queen. The fact that the Queen existed, she did not exist. In London, yes. In general, in history, yes. But in Bridgerton, she did not exist. There was no Queen in the timeline. There was no Prince. Prince Friedrich? I have no idea. See, I don't even care for the prince enough to even remember his name. He did not matter at all. I did not care for him. Yes, he was a suitor, pretty much to, like... Honestly, he was just there. Pretty much just to make Simon jealous of the fact that Daphne has a prince on her suitor list. I have no idea what it is. But that's it. The Queen was useless. She was so useless. And the fact that she, snorted coke? Or something. She snorted something in one of the episodes. And I was just like, excuse me? I get the Queen was there pretty much just for fun. What the heck? I mean, she is the most unqueen-like person in the whole thing. Like, literally, Daphne was more queen than her. The Queen? No, the Queen was straight up just a bunch of uselessness. And I'm sorry. And it's not because... Okay, I feel like people are gonna hate on me in the fact that, you know, it's probably because... You're hating on these characters because they're colored people. I literally don't... Not it. That's not it. I found the Queen useless. You guys might not. You guys might think, Veronica, actually there was a Queen in the books. I don't remember a Queen. Comment that down below. Which book? Which area? I'll reread it if I have to. Because I certainly don't remember a Queen, nor do I remember a Prince. None of that. It was just the ton. I hate that word because I never know how to say it. But that was it. That was it. The one person that honestly made sense was Lady Danbury and Eloise. Eloise, what a queen. She was just simply amazing. Honestly, Eloise was probably one of my favorite parts. And her haircut, it was literally like... her bangs were literally like bowl cut kind of bangs. Just like... right above the eyebrows. It was so funny. It was cute. But Eloise was just actually the best. I loved her so much. And she was just so fun and everything. Her secret letters, that's accurate. The fact that she was like writing and everything. She was just a really fun character. And then she was honestly one of my favorites. Her and Lady Danbury. Just amazing. I've really honestly no complaints about her. Honestly. I actually really enjoyed her. And then I feel like Anthony, no, not Anthony. Anthony's just a whole freaking, I don't even know. And the fact that she never actually had he did not force an arranged marriage with Daphne's other weird, creepy suitor. He did not arrange a marriage between them. So that one was added. That was completely like, since when? You know, because he never did that. Everything else, honestly, Sienna, I still don't, that really bothered me. Benedict, there was no arc about him in his books, meeting Lord, what's his name, the artist. That also was an add-on. Him going to the house to paint, also an add-on. Very interesting. So I'm excited to see what season 2 is and how different they're really gonna make it be. Because honestly, at this point, they've seriously changed everything. And who else? Francesca. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure she was there the whole time in Daphne's book. And then she just did not appear in books 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Only until her book, which is book 6, When He Was Wicked, when she was finally, there she was. Because each book, I was like, where the heck is Francesca? And apparently she was married. When did she get married? Was it 18 years old? When 16? I don't even know when. That was fascinating. She didn't show up for a whole thing, so I guess that's the whole thing. But she did show up at the end for, like, something. She showed up for, like, a ball or something. I don't even know. which I found really interesting. And that was fascinating, that little snippet detail of Francesca. I don't know why. I swear Francesca was in the whole book of The Duke and I, but then again, I don't remember. I certainly don't remember her showing up for 2, 3, 4, or 5. But The Duke and I understand she had to be like 15 in The Duke and I, but then she didn't, then again, comment down below if I'm wrong, because I might yet be wrong. So Francesca, really, I have no complaint about. Hyacinth and Gregory, though, they were a lot more crazy in The Duke and I than the way, honestly, I feel like Hyacinth, she looked like she was a teenager, or early teens, maybe 12, 13 in this series, and Gregory looked like he was about 10 years old. I don't know, Gregory seemed younger than Hyacinth, which is not true at all. So that was very interesting. Hyacinth, I swear, she's very calm for some reason. They messed around with the peas and everything. That seemed normal and everything. But it just seemed like Hyacinth seemed... Her name gives me so much trouble. Hyacinth just seemed more mature. More not like how she was in The Duke and I in the books. She was I think she was a lot younger. Also, Gregory just straight up looked too young. He looked younger than Hyacinth, and that's not true. So I found that very interesting. They were just very calm, rather than their crazy self in the books. They were straight up, they were kids. They were just acting like children. I was about to say childish. So that was just a whole nother change that I found. They threw peas at you, they run around, everything else. They just didn't seem very crazy, childish-like. So that's another thing that they changed. And honestly, I don't know. This is why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Because of how much they changed. They change so much about the things. I'm a little disappointed. I wish they kept some of it the same. Like I said, I'm gonna say this again. All they kept the same was the names, the characters, the relationships between Simon and Daphne and everything. But they changed so much. The way Simon and Daphne met. Sienna, she only showed up for 5 minutes. Marina, she was freaking dead in book 5. She didn't show up in books 1, 2, 3, or 4. She didn't show up in any of the books. She didn't show up. She was only mentioned in book 5. So that was different. There was no queen or prince in any of the books. And it was just... I'm a little disappointed. And honestly, I'm a little bit sad with the way it turned out. I wish they kept some aspects of the storyline accurate. Yes, they kept Simon's backstory the same. But basically what I'm trying to say is the fact that they really, really changed everything. They changed everything. They kept the backstories the same. They had to. But there's just arcs of characters that it was unnecessary. They didn't need to add so much Sienna. They certainly didn't need to add Marina in this. It would have been perfectly fine. I wish that they didn't do so much with this. I mean, it's only season 1. You've still got 7 other siblings. So, that's just me. And I'm done. I'm done ranting. I'm done talking about this because it's gonna make me so much more angry. I just wish that they didn't change so much. Because they changed all of it. They pretty much just changed all of it, and that's what breaks my heart, is the fact that I loved the books. My favorite book, by the way, if you guys are wondering, is It's in His Kiss, which is Hyacinth's book, and When He Was Wicked. I both gave them 5 stars. My favorite, absolute favorite, was It's in His Kiss. Loved it. The show, though, 3 out of 5. I truly hope season 2 is better. They should be coming out with season 2. I don't know how many seasons in total, though, but season 2, I'm sure. I just wish that they didn't change it. And I also want to reiterate, in no way, shape, or form, by the way, am I complaining about the fact that they changed Simon, the fact that he was colored, Lady Danbury colored, the Queen didn't even exist. I don't even want to talk about her. So many characters were colored. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about their race at all. I'm just talking about the characters. I was a little disappointed with the fact that they changed, they didn't have to whitewash every single character. But they certainly should have kept Simon and Lady Danbury the same, white, because they were key characters, and they just changed the characters. That being said, I'm glad that they did such diverse casts. At least they should have kept the main characters white? I don't know. That's just my opinion. By the way, I'm not I want to say this again, I'm not complaining the fact that there are so many colored people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying it at all. I'm not trying to be racist in any of this. I'm just saying they should have kept it somewhat similar to the books. And they changed everything. They changed so much. They changed everything. And that was just my little disappointment, or big disappointment. Honestly, I'm very disappointed in this. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming and watching this kind of pretty much a big rant of the Bridgerton series. If you guys managed to stay to the end, comment down this emoji, flower emoji, if you guys managed to stay until the very end. I am so thankful for you guys. If you guys did, please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this video, and hit that red subscribe button down below, and comment down below what did you guys think of the Bridgerton series, because I would love to know what you guys thought about it, and if you guys read the books or just watched the movies, or if you are interested in watching the movies, or if you're interested in reading the books, whichever variation. But thank you guys so much for coming. I post booktube content, by the way, every week, and I'm really excited. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.